Hello, welcome to the More Cheese Less Whiskers podcast. My name is Dean Jackson, and today we're talking with Brian Diaz from Long Island. And Brian is a mortgage broker, and he's got a great target audience of working with first-time buyers who are Spanish-speaking, who live in Long Island or the areas right around there, and building relationships with real estate agents that he can collaborate with to help these people get homes using grant programs. And it's a really great, well thought out system. And you're not going to believe some of the numbers of the lead costs that he's getting because it's such a on target thing. This is what happens when you are really specific and compelling in your messaging with your audience. And so we talked about the longevity of this and the real value being in the long term of this. And really thoughtful guy. He's got all his ducks in a row, and we had a great conversation. So I think you're really going to enjoy this one. Here we go.
Brian.
Good morning, Dean.
How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you doing?
I'm so good. Hey, how do I say your last name?
Diaz.
Diaz. Okay. So welcome aboard. It's all very exciting. We're recording right now. We got the whole hour to hatch some evil schemes here.
Awesome. I locked the door. Let's do this.
Oh, yeah. So where do we start? Tell me what's going on in your world here.
All right. Let's get your quote up. So I recently got my banking license. I was formally started as a broker in 2003. I saw the meltdown coming. I started a credit repair company to assist my clients. And when the meltdown hit, I was making more money with credit repair than I was with mortgages. So I focused full time on credit repair. About a year ago, I was speaking with a mortgage company, a mortgage bank. They said that I could come in and have a desk in there, but I had to have my license. So I went ahead and got my banker license, and then some loans started falling in my lap just because of my presence there. So I started focusing more and more on building the loan business. I hired a mortgage coach, Doran Aldana. He has a great system for partnering with realtors, finding with realtors and developing that relationship. He introduced me to Chris Reel from a digital agency, something like that. He does Facebook marketing for loan officers. So he's been doing like a lot of first-time home buyers. The idea of being, if I can bring in first-time home buyers, get them pre-approved, then that's a great way for me to segue into the realtor to, offer them referrals.
The relationship with the realtors, sure.
Exactly. So we're doing great. I'm getting a tremendous amount of leads. I do focus on the Hispanic market, so I speak Spanish. I'm doing basically the process is they fill out a form because they're interested in becoming a first-time home buyer and seeing if they might qualify for grants, so if they don't need any money for down payment. I take them. Our CRM engages them through text messages and voice drops. The ones that respond are channeled directly into my Google Voice, so I can text back and get on the phone with them. I take an application, and we have a great, a high percentage rate for taking full applications. But what we seem to be melting down is getting them to come in with the documentation.
Ah, right. So you're the first step, like you get them to fill out a full application as the first step. Is that the way it goes?
Yeah. So we usually start out
to kind of qualify them.
Right. We start out with like a text message back and forth, and I tell them, look, the first step for you to find out if you qualify for a grant or even to apply for a grant for a first-time home buyer is you have to be pre-approved. So I'm going to ask you some questions about your income, your assets, your credit, and your goals, and based on your answers, I'm going to tell you what programs you could apply for. So we go through a full application, and then at the end of the application, based on what you're telling me, I would say that you qualify for $450,000 property. In order for us to apply for the grant to assist you with the down payment, because there is a grant in that area that you do qualify for. That looks like you qualify for. I need you to come in with your financials so that we can, so I can review them and make sure that it supports everything that we discussed on the telephone. And then with that, I can issue a pre-approval, and then I will help you submit your application for the grant. I said, okay, I'll come in next week, next Saturday, Saturday comes, I text them the day before, are you coming? Sometimes they respond, sometimes they don't, but a very high percentage of them just never show up and then never get back on the phone with me.
Right. And how long in the process is this, like, when if we're saying, if we lay this out from the profit activators, let's say we would call this the before unit of your business there, and you're transitioning people into, once they bring you those documents and everything is set up, then they're in your during unit, where now you're moving forward on helping them get the loan. And it's that transition all through the first 4 profit activators to get them there. So you've selected a single target market of first-time buyers. And are you doing it in a specific geographic area?
Yes, I'm in Long Island, New York. So we focus on Nassau, Suffolk, Queens, Brooklyn, Westchester.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so in Long Island, New York, you've got there's plenty of them there, plenty of first-time buyers in your area there. Okay. So in Profit Activator 2, the whole thing now is to turn those invisible prospects into visible prospects. And what are you doing to get them to raise their hand? You're offering them a free report, a book, how are they identifying themselves?
Okay, so they're filling out a form for a free consultation to find out if they qualify for a grant for a first-time homebuyer.
Okay, so the consultation is the thing that you're getting them to raise their hand.
Correct.
For. Okay, and how many of those are you getting? Let's kind of work through the math of this.
I think I'm spending like $2 a lead.
Okay, so you're getting $2 for a consultation lead. And what kind of velocity are you doing with that? Like, are you getting, how quickly are you growing that? How many leads are you generating, like on a weekly basis or whatever?
I think actually the $2 for the actual engaged lead. I don't know what I'm paying per click. I haven't asked Chris. I'm spending $5 a day, and I probably get about 10 opt-ins a day, of which about 4 of them will respond to my CRM when it attempts to engage them in conversation.
Okay, so let's do the math on that, because that seems very
high, right?
No, very, very low. And you look at it, so you're spending $5 a day, and you're getting 10 opt-ins, which is 50 cents, right, per opt-in?
Okay.
Meaning a name and email?
Right.
Yeah. And then, which is phenomenal, really. And how are you targeting these people?
I don't know. He's actually, I think he's using a custom audience.
Oh, okay, right.
Based off of his own. He's got thousands of loan officers.
I got you. Okay, so these are you're not just going
right. My specific tweak is Spanish speaking. So because at first we were running it in English, and I noticed that everybody I was speaking with had an accent. So I said, hey, let's do Spanish. And as soon as we switched over to Spanish, everyone was way more cooperative.
Yeah.
And my cost per opt-in dropped dramatically.
Yes, perfect. That's great. So that's so proof again that, you've got even a sub niche of a sub niche, right? You've got first-time buyers that are Spanish speaking in a particular area. And so you're getting those opt-ins for 50 cents. How big is that list that you've generated right now?
If you bear with me, I will tell you exactly. Okay, Spanish home buyers, 570 prospects, meaning opt-in, of which 371 responded to our CRM engagement attempts.
This is great. So that's about, right on track, about 40% or so.
66% engagement.
66%. Okay. So let's break this down. How long has that been going on? How long? If we took lead number 1 and lead number 570, when was lead number 1?
Yeah, I want to say like February, like either the last week of January. Let's call it February 1st to make it easy.
Okay, so we've got February, March, April. So we're 4 months into it. And of the people, if we look at the way that this falls out, has it been pretty consistent like that, $5 a day every day since?
Well, no, because the first month and a half, I want to say, we were targeting just English, like actually not targeting any specific language, and it was only after about a month and a half that I made the realization.
Okay, so by then we're in, let's call it April. So the last 60 days kind of thing, you've been focused 100% on the Spanish.
Correct.
Okay, and of the 570, how many of those are the Spanish ones?
Let's say 500 of them.
Okay, so most of them. That's when you really cracked the code. That brought the cost. The cost was way down then. Okay. So really, when you look at it now, that you've got so many of these are less than 90 days old, right? Almost all of them. So when you look at this, out of the 66% engagement, those are the ones that you then, and by engagement, you mean they respond to your text or your email, and then you get on the phone with them?
Correct. Some of them are just, they prefer to just text back and forth, but that's how people are now, right? It's weird.
Just as valid. And then how many people fill out the application?
So 500. Oh, how many actually complete that? That's a good question. I don't have that specific number.
Because this is how we want to get down to the progression, right?
Like, well, yeah, let me check. I use 2 CRMs. One of them is just for engaging after they enter the form, because it's specifically designed to get them to engage. And then I use another CRM for follow-up. And I always, once somebody fills out an application, I stick them in the second CRM for the actual follow-up. So I should be able to tell you that way if I look that way.
There you go.
Tags.
And this is all going to be valuable because you're building a formula here, just to know what we're looking at.
Okay, so in here I have 65 total.
Okay.
So more probably filled out applications, but 60 to 65 worth, that they actually would be in the ballpark for obtaining financing. There's probably like a bunch of them in there that didn't have papers or anything like that, so I didn't stick them in there.
Okay, great. And then have you done any loans with the people yet?
None closed. I have probably 8 pre-approvals out. I'm waiting for them to find houses. Okay.
And so 8 pre-approvals. So if we look at it roughly, if we say 500 of all of it, 570, 66% engage on some level, then maybe 20% of those will go to the application level. And then you've got 20% of those, not quite 20%, 15% say of those that are approved and out looking at homes right now. So that, when you look at that formula, that's pretty robust, right? That you've got all of the pieces are moving in that you've threaded all of the beads all the way through to the best that you can do right now. You've done your part, which is get them pre-approved, and they're out looking at homes, and you're passing those on to, you're introducing those to the real estate agents?
Only when I have them pre-approved, so that's only really 8 of them that I've introduced to real estate agents.
Yeah, that's what I mean. 8 pre-approved and on to the real estate agents. Those are great. Okay. So what you have, is a really nice system to create that. If we just added zeros to it, if you just were to look at it, that if you get 5,700 of these and 3,700 of them reply, and you get 650 applications and 80 people out looking at homes, that's going to be a nice system for you. How much is one of these worth in terms of the fees or commissions, or however you call what you would earn from one transaction?
Let's call it, let's say 5,000.
Okay. So
like 5,000. Net about 5,000.
Yeah. Okay. And so that seems like a pretty good, when you look at it, if you could like wave a magic wand, and how much would you cheerfully pay for a loan? Like if you could just say, okay, I'll somebody's at the point where they're, pre-approved and out looking, you get a guaranteed loan. How much of that would you happily be willing to pay?
I mean, I would go to as high as 4,000, unless they were like was a big family. Then I might go to 4,500 just to get all the referrals.
Right, exactly. So there's so much room here, and you're well within that, because if you're looking at it, how much have you spent total on all of this?
Do some quick math. So it's February, March, April, May.
I mean, it's under $1,000 basically so far,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first thing I would
about $2,000 all in.
Okay. So the first thing that I would look at is that that's where the math kind of makes a little more difference than if you got $570 for $2,000. That's closer to $3 and something for the opt-ins. But the majority, what you're saying now, is that the Spanish ones are much less for you.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And how big is that potential there? Like how much of the audience are you actually reaching? Could you spend $50 a day?
Conceivably, although Facebook is a funny animal. Like last time when we were running the English leads, after like 2 weeks, I said let's increase double the ad spend, and my opt-in rate actually dropped off. So Facebook is funny that way when you try to scale it.
Well, part of that is that you're not really, when you're using an audience like that, when you're using a custom audience, you're only reaching the same people more often. You're not exposing to new people. Like, so when you're interpreting, when you're reading the results on the Facebook reports, what you're describing is that the frequency is going up, but the reach is not going up. Like you're not exposing it to more people. You've got a fixed pool of people. So it's just like, I liken it, when you have a custom audience or a limited audience like that, it's like sending postcards in a way. You can digital postcards that show up in their stream, and you've got when your reach gets up over 1.5 or so, that means that half the people that are seeing your ad now are seeing it again. And when you get up over 2 or 3 in the frequency, that's where your ad costs are going up, because you're not really reaching new people. You're showing it again to people who weren't interested the first 2 times they saw it.
Great point. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really helpful, actually.
Yeah. So it's good to know that and just kind of look at it to see. and that makes a difference. But anyway, the good news that you have is that where you're really doing a good job is in Profit Activator 2. You've got a system that gets people to raise their hand, and then you have an engaging system that gets the ones who are interested now to kind of engage and then go to the application stage. And all of that is happening, in the first 7 days or so, right? You're looking at just a throughput system of saying, here's what you need to do, here's how you go.
Right.
Now, what happens to the people who are not responsive or not engaged right now? What do you do? What's your long-term
I'm not tripping on them, but I have
right.
that same CRM, the engagement CRM. What I'll do is after like 60 days, I'll run something like your 9-word email and do it as a text message as well, and see if I can get them re-engaged. Hey, you filled out a form a short time ago about buying a house. Are you still interested?
Yeah, and I don't think you'd even, what I would recommend that you do is don't even add that preamble to it. Like part of the thing about using the 9-word email would be to just send the 9 words and say at 90 days or 60 days or, some amount of time, say to them, hey, are you still interested in buying a house?
Right.
That is it, because you don't need to say you filled out a form. You're not trying to remind them. We're looking to re-engage with the ones who are indeed looking, and that's just a matter of thing that most of the people that are interested in that are not going to do it right away. I don't know how familiar you are with a lot of the lead conversion things that I talk about, but the general idea that we look at from a construct for lead conversion is that I look at it that just half the people that inquire about this situation, any situation really, are going to do something about that in the next 2 years, right? So I take a long approach to this, but only 15% of them are going to do it in the first 90 days. And so your system is very front-end loaded in that you're trying to identify the 5-star prospects, the people who are ready to go right now, and get them pre-approved and get them out looking at houses. But where the big value is to figure out the system that nurtures them beyond that 90 days and goes whenever they're ready,
Sure.
And this is the thing, is that what I've learned about lead conversion is that there's really only 2 time frames. It's either now or not now. And that's really the essence of it, and our goal is to be there when it's now. And so when you're engaging with these people in the beginning, they may be people who are looking for a new place that they have to rent, and they're thinking, man, if we could just get a grant, or if we could buy a house, that would be super. And then this comes across their world, and they're like, well, maybe we don't need to rent a place, maybe we can buy a place. And then they move forward having the conversation with you and figuring out that, hey, maybe we do qualify for this, and then they are able to buy the home. But for some people, they're renting right now. It may not even be on their radar that they would qualify, or that it would ever be a possibility for them to buy a house, right? So now you've presented them with the possibility, and they move forward, and you're kind of saying, yeah, it looks like you could, but they're not ready right now to do it. They're not going to just up and buy a home. But you've planted that seed. And if we were to look at these people and kind of track them over the next 2 years, then at some point there's going to be an opportunity for them. And
Right.
if you're there,
The ones that I'm engaging with that engaged, even though they didn't bring in documentation or they might not qualify right away, those are the ones that I'm dripping on a weekly basis with email and doing a monthly newsletter.
I think you should be dripping on all of them.
Okay.
For the 2 years. Like, I think you want to have two different layers of this, right? You want to have a system that is layering them, the finding the right now ones, and then a system that if it's not right now, you've got the long-term system of it.
Okay.
And I think a situation like this would be really great for a podcast. Like if you're thinking about, telling the stories of people who have who've bought homes using a program that they, didn't even know existed, and they're able to kind of share the story, even if it's just a quick, like, weekly, even a video or an audio, either one, of kind of telling the stories of people who are buying homes, and they see people just like them who are buying homes, and that makes it even more real for them.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's a nice ongoing way to keep in front of people like that. And then whenever, that way you've got the reasons to continue each week to be in front of them. And then what they're, what they might be looking for then is the next steps. We need to have kind of like constantly in front of them. If you see all the emails that I send have what we call a super signature that says, plus whenever you're ready, here are 4 ways I can help you. And so when you look at that same thing, if you're sending out those, whenever you're ready, here are 3 ways I can help you get a new home.
Okay.
And what would those steps be? Like, do you do any workshops or webinars or educational type of things where you could explain the whole process to a group of people, so you don't have to do it one-on-one kind of thing?
That's actually something that I'm in the process of planning right now. It's a first-time home buyer workshop in Spanish.
Perfect.
Maybe just record that and use that as a podcast as well, or is that overkill?
Well, I think it would be really valuable for you to probably do, to experiment, but to actually do them live, like to do it somewhere. Like if you're saying as you're building this list kind of thing, to do it at a library or do it at somewhere where people can come and like see you and learn, but yes, record it as well, so that you've got a version of it,
Right.
But that would be a really valuable thing, so that as you're doing this, people can see and hear that here's the way to get more information. We're doing a homebuyer workshop at the library. Maybe you choose, maybe you do one in different locations or something, but to have, I was looking at for you for the velocity kind of thing as you're, creating a system around this, that would be good. Then you've got something that's an incremental step to steer people towards. That if they see that, on the first Thursday of the month you do, or the first Tuesday or whatever it is, you do a workshop at the library, and people can come and get their questions answered and see the process,
Okay.
So that maybe you're introducing them to people who have who've bought homes. I just look at this building like the assets that you're going to be creating here is, imagine this as a mature system, 18 months from now. where you've got all of these people that have already been responded and have been nurtured through this whole process.
Right. Okay. All right. So you're saying I have to really just invest more time in building trust and developing the relationships, so that when they are finally ready to go, then I'm probably just moving them too quickly from the initial. They filled out a form. I got to take in an application, and I'm expecting too much for them to just run in with docs.
Yeah, but you're doing great in terms of identifying the ones who that's the path that they are on.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, because that proves that there's a lot of life in it.
Right.
Like, there are people who there's a demand for it. They want that information, So
right.
The fact that you've got a system to help them, and you've got 8 people that are out looking at homes right now, it's just a matter of time until somebody's gonna have bought a home, and now you've got the whole system there. You've spent $2,000, and you'll have your first $5,000 from it, and you're automatically now into profitability on it, and you've still got the asset of the other 7 people that are still out looking at houses, and the 65 that have taken the application, and the 570 that are getting your weekly email, kind of educating them. And another thing that might be great is with the realtors that you're doing, to have an opportunity to highlight some listings that would be homes that you could buy with this program, to show
right.
people and make it real what they actually can get. Just documenting the process,
Right. Okay. I'm just taking notes.
That's kind of that's kind of a cool thing. I mean, you've got so much. You're doing so many of the right things here.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And then I would look at, in the other side there, trying to see how you could reach new people too, in terms of, because seems like what's happening is you're fishing from kind of a fixed pond,
Okay. So you're saying like add another target audience?
Yeah, like a wonder, right? If you just go, because I think you might even start out with, and we've been doing this a lot in situations, to start out with kind of a broad, broader audience, and that it's the kind of thing that people would share, are you using a video ad or a lead ads, or what ad products are you using for right now?
I think it's just an image with some copy. Click here to see if you qualify, and they It's just a straight up landing page. They're filling out a form.
That's great.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a that's not broken. But what I might look at for you is, it's a pretty big step to go from nothing to a consultation, if that's what they're signing up for. That you may be able to do the next thing of having a book, or having something that they could get right now without having to talk to anybody,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because part of that thing is knowing that right now, those, as long as they're on that audience or whatever that you're going to, they're what we call invisible, right? And so the ones that are popping out are the ones that are kind of a higher propensity to want to do something right now. But the challenge with that is that you don't have the ability to nurture your relationship with them in the same way over a longer period of time as you would if they were visible prospects.
Right.
Meaning, even though it may seem like a softer offer, that they don't have to talk to anybody right now, that they can just get the book or the directory or the report or whatever the thing is, that you're getting all the people who are serious right now are within that list of people.
So you're saying all the ones that haven't engaged or haven't brought in the docs, maybe send them, like right now we're doing 7 steps and trying to get engagement from them. After the 7th step, perhaps maybe a week later saying, hey, maybe the timing's not right now, but I compiled the list of like the 10 most common questions that the first time home buyers have.
No, you've already got, I wouldn't change anything about what you're doing with the 7-step connection process.
Right.
You're doing that to engage, and you're getting 66% of them to engage. So that's working. You're not going to get a breakthrough there. What I'm thinking is that you're getting generally a person who is moving forward to talk to a person, like on the list of resistance to offers, talking to a person or a consultation or something that seems like a commitment is a big step forward, and that there's a big pool of people. I look at it as concentric circles, right? So in the biggest circle is the audience that you're showing these ads to. That's the only people that are seeing these ads are the people that are in this audience, right? And the ones that you're getting now, people are going from, they're in that audience and you're showing them the ad, and the ones that are interested in the information and are willing to talk to somebody or get a consultation or fill out an application and stuff right now are moving forward, right? So that is the next layer in the circle. Now they've turned into visible prospects. But I'm saying that there's another layer just on the other side of the ones who are filling out your form that you have right now, that there's a group of people who are interested and curious and would like to get more information, but they're not ready to talk to somebody right now, or they're not ready to take what seems like a more of a commitment kind of thing.
Okay.
And if they could get and download a book or a report or a guide or something about this process without having to talk to anybody right now, without making it feel like they're talking to anybody right now, you would have a bigger number of people who would be willing to do that.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm with you now.
Yeah, and that's now the advantage of that is that now you've got them in your world, and it doesn't cost you any more to keep in touch with them, right? To nurture them in your system, because you've got their name and email now. Whereas if you're, if you're only, if you have to reach them through the Facebook ads, you've got to pay to reach them every time, right? You've got to pay to reach that audience every time.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah. So it's more valuable. It may seem like you're getting higher quality prospects. That's the argument that people might make for this, right? Is that, well, we're getting higher quality prospects because they've got, quote, what you even say, they've got more skin in the game when they fill in a form, right, or fill in an application, which makes you feel like they're higher qualified, right?
Right.
But if your thing is that what you extend your range to realize that for every one of those applications that you get right now, there's probably 5 times that many over the next 18 months if you nurture that relationship with them. That's going to be time that maybe they just moved into a new place, 3 months ago. And they're thinking, man, I wish I'd known that when we got our lease, kind of thing, right? So maybe at some point in the next 18 months, their lease is going to be coming due. And they're thinking, instead of getting a new place or renewing our lease here, maybe we should buy a place, that maybe you've planted that seed, that it's a possibility for them. And then they start seeing people just like them who are buying homes and talking about how easy it was and how helpful you were in the process and how you guys answered all their questions. And here, look at this beautiful house that we got, that they get inspired by that. They get educated and motivated. That's what Profit Activator 3 is all about.
Okay.
And then if every time they're doing that, along with that, they see and hear an inspirational story about somebody who bought a house, and then you say to them, whenever you're ready, here's 3 ways we can help you. If you say, yeah, join us for a tour of homes, where you maybe have your realtor set up, that some people may want to see what kind of homes they can get for this, and some people may want to get their ducks in a row money-wise, which is what you want, right? Like, you're kind of focused on, you don't want anybody out looking at homes till you know for sure that they're qualified, right?
Correct.
All of that kind of thing. But it's counter to the way that most people go through the process, right? Most people get motivated by the house.
Right.
And so if you were to have and set aside an experiment with this, that you use the catalyst of join us for a daily tour, and maybe the realtor gets to meet them and show them a couple of homes, that they get now a connection there, and you can, in that meeting, be the catalyst to then getting the application and getting pre-approved and moving forward.
Okay. So as far as the
keeping people moving,
the 3 ways I could help. So you're suggesting one would be like join us for a tour of homes. Another one would be join us for our monthly or biweekly workshop. And the third one would be like an online application or a consultation.
Exactly. We use something we call a free home loan report, where you monitor all the different grant programs and things to find the best programs available. And that makes it feel like, okay, there's something there for me,
Okay.
And that way you've got, I think, a really good system. I think you could send people, 2 emails a week about this, where it's a weekly report of zero down homes, of all the things that they can get,
Okay.
And then the education one, like, what would be, if you just look at a great way to lay out like a 6-month content plan for this, would be to say, what are the 10 questions that people most frequently ask you about this or about the process? And then what are the 10 questions that they don't ask you, but they should be asking you, that they don't even know that they should be asking, like the real important things that they need to know? And then each of the ways that you can help them, the one about the daily tour, and one about the homebuyer workshop, and one about the home loan report. That is that's a 6-month follow-up process for you right there,
Okay. Yeah, I love it.
Pretty cool.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was going to ask you about the content, if you had a strategy, and that pretty much just answered my question for me.
Now, the other thing that you have an opportunity for is referrals in here. As people are doing this, one of the things that certainly, are you partnered with any particular real estate agent or a real estate office, or how are you connected with the real estate agents on this?
I currently have three agents that I'm working with, but none of them are big producers. I recently just locked up with one office with a top producer. I didn't realize he had his own office, but he himself was a top producer last year, made the Real Trends list, and he has an office. So I'm taking over his marketing in the next week or so, and so hopefully I'm getting the entire office. I know I'm working with him, but I'm probably going to get the whole office as well.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. So part of the thing might be that when they have listings that would be homes that might qualify for one of these grant programs, that you're helping them highlight that with these listings, because there's another way of going around it, that if somebody can, is there a particular grant program that you're using, and what's the best scenario for people? What's the no-brainer scenario that you're looking for right now?
Well, it depends on the county that they're looking in. There's a few that I have as far as go-tos. Some of them, sometimes they run out of money, so you have to move from one to the next.
Right.
But
what's the best one right now? Yeah, the best.
Oh, the best one right now is it's CHI grants. They give $25,000, half of which could be used towards down payment and closing costs. The rest has to be used to improve the house. They have an income limit, which is the only, and it's limited to single family homes. So somebody looking for a single family home, and they have to meet the income criteria.
And so is it reasonable? What the max income?
It's a small window because everything's so expensive in New York that if you hit that income limit, you have a very limited
qualify. Right.
You have a very limited inventory to choose from.
Yes, but this is where your legwork can really come in handy, right? If you've got a situation that you've already found the homes that would qualify, so that there's a point where it's out of the question, because there's a maximum when you look at what the maximum income requirement is, that there's a maximum actual buying amount that they can do. Are you doing FHA 3% loans or what?
Yeah, for the most part, they're FHA programs, 3.5%.
Okay, so they need 3.5% down, which in what kind of price range are you? What's the sweet spot here? There's got to be some exact sweet spot of homes that would fit there.
Okay, yeah. So it's pretty much very, very near impossible to find a home for less than $300,000, like a single family home for less than $300,000 in this area. Yeah. So the sweet spot is between $300,000 to $450,000. Okay. That they still have the income criteria to qualify.
Yeah. And so if that's the thing, where if you know that that's the truth, are there any other requirements that would sort of filter out specific homes? Do they have to be in any specific neighborhood, or do they have to require that work needs to be done? Or
the only requirement is that the owner has to occupy the home for 10 years.
Okay.
And if it's an FHA, there is the
that's a big commitment right there, isn't it? That's a big,
there is also one conventional program that will allow for the grants as well, that only requires 3% down. But then we have an issue with most of the clients that I'm dealing with don't have a lot of savings, which is why they need the grant.
Right. Yeah.
And that 3% down only allows for a 3% sales concession, so we don't get to use it as often.
Mm-hmm.
But with the FHA, it's obviously the FHA requirements for homes.
Yeah. So this is what I'm kind of envisioning for you, is that you have already pre-filtered the homes that would be kind of matched up with these grants.
Okay.
And then that way each week you're able to send to all of these people this like Christmas wish list, that they could get excited about this house, and this might be the one that would push them over the edge.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So it's than.
I was trying to push-pull with trying to introduce them at an earlier stage. Like once I pre-qualified them, but didn't have the docs, I was trying to throw them at real estate agents to see if maybe the agents would show them houses, if that would excite them enough to get the documentation. But then it's a waste of everyone's time. Your approach is better. This way we could just do it digitally and we could do it on a bigger scale.
Yes, that's my point. That's exactly right. And that way I would be monitoring. This way you get to meet different real estate agents too. Right? Like I would be on an alert for a specific area. And when a new property comes on the market, that could be your introduction to that real estate agent and say for that particular listing and saying, introducing yourself and that you're working with this grant program and looks like this house would qualify. And you can work together with them to do some collaboration on that one, because that's going to help them if they can advertise that property as zero down. That would be a cool thing. Even if you have to fully disclose who that's for, that you've already done the work. That if somebody, whatever the requirements are, right, that they would have to make this much money, a maximum of this much money.
Right, I'll follow you.
And that's a cool thing for meeting those people too. We've got that same thing here in Florida. There's we've been doing the zero down loans as the USDA. They're rural home loans, and they have certain geographic zones that if the house is in this area, it qualifies. And some, you can be in one neighborhood and one side of the street is qualified and the other side is not. So you have to, it takes a little specialized kind of knowledge to know that. And so that's where your advantage, that little bit of legwork, if you've got the update that every email that these people get from you includes homes that actually they could get with this program.
Right.
That's a big thing for you.
Good point. I like it. Homes that qualify.
You got such an asset there, and that way, if you put together something like that, that might be a great way for your realtors to introduce to their clients to say, to let them know that they've got a way to help their friends get homes with zero down. Like if you were to say to the realtors, if you were to put together a little letter or a little email that you could help them with, that they could send to their friends or their clients and say, hey, just a quick note in case you hear someone talking about buying their first home. Houses here are getting out of control price-wise, but there are a couple of grant programs that will allow people to buy homes with zero down payment. If you know someone who's thinking about buying their first home, give me a call or text me. I'll get you a copy of the details of this program for them.
Okay. My focus is I'm trying to recruit just no more than 3 top producers. I don't want to work with 100 different little real estate agents, because my strategy is really to become a marketing partner, handle a lot of the heavy lifting on their marketing for them. So I become an asset that is too painful to let go.
Right. Well, this is going to be on the way because that's what they really want. buyers are better than donuts to bring them.
True. But listings are even better. I just got to figure out how to do that for them.
Amen. Yeah, that's so funny. Well, I mean, so I have a whole program at gogoagent.com that is that's one of our primary focuses, of course, is real estate, and that's one of the programs that we have is called Getting Listings, and that's exactly what it is, a whole system to get listings for realtors. So you might want to check that out.
Yeah, maybe I should just start implementing that for them. I have a list of 200 of the top producers in New York, and when I contact them to try to tell them about I have pre-approved buyer leads for you and marketing systems to help make your life easier, and I want to sit down.
Call me when you got a listing. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's a strong, a good number of them. I don't need any more buyers.
Yeah, buyers are liars.
No, they're pre-approved though.
I know, but that's the thing, right? That's the thing. They don't want that because the buyers they're slippery. They can get all excited, be out looking at homes with you, and then on their way home, they drive through an open house and fall in love, and they bought that house, and they're out. The reason that the agents love the listings is that people are coming to you. Then you've got the contract with the seller.
So, how could I, as a loan officer, use GoGo Agent?
Just like that, to partner with the realtors. You were talking about doing the marketing for them, right? You could have it so that you could have a GoGo Agent account with a team. So you could have 3 different accounts within it to set up for each of the realtors that you're working with and run the program for them.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at it.
Yeah. That's cool. So
yeah, that'd be a game changer.
Yeah. Well, we talked about a lot there, Brian. That went fast. What did you hear? How did it all land here? So have you do the recap?
Okay. Well, so I'm rethinking as far as what my initial problem was. I was thinking that I'm just not getting enough documents in, but you kind of clarified that it's really focusing more on developing the relationship and building rapport and then building the list. And over time, they are going to all come in. A lot of it is their experience and just kind of making it the whole process more relatable as far as showing them other people that are purchasing and their experiences and helping them understand that they can do it too. Yeah. Giving them a smaller entry point as far as no one to talk to, just downloading report is going to be another campaign that we're going to be launching. Offering a workshop, so there's that in-between step. They're not really for a consultation, but they want to know more about the loan process. It was covered in the book, but hey, I'd like to really, ask questions and that kind of stuff without actually having the pressure of finding out if I qualify right today or not. So we'll start doing the workshops.
Yeah.
The super signature, adding that to the campaign and then building out a 6-month campaign with the 10 frequently asked questions, the 10 things they should be asking, ways that I can help, and then maybe like a list of homes that qualify on a biweekly basis, so that they can see that these are homes that they can actually qualify for, and I can give them the criteria so that they know before they even contact me if this is a home that they can own, but it helps them to actually envision that this is how they can own if they just take the next step.
Yes.
And then checking out the GoGo Agent, see if I can find a way to get listings for my agents and make me like the only loan officer that I've ever heard of that is giving away listings.
Well, that's exactly right. You're on your way.
Awesome, Dean. I appreciate the help.
That's cool. This was great. I had a lot of fun. That went fast.
Yeah, man.
So, stay in touch. Let me hear how it's all working out. And if you come on into GoGo Agent, I'll see you in there and I'll connect with you there too.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Dean.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye now.
And there we have it. Another great episode. And I love it when a good plan comes together. You just see all the moving pieces here. You see everything in terms of broadening the number of people that we can turn into visible prospects for him. We've got a plan to nurture that relationship over a longer period of time than just the first 7 days trying to engage with the people who are ready now. And that's going to pay big dividends for him. And, I loved at the end, we really get down to building a relationship with the real estate agents. What they really want is listings. And, luckily we have the whole system for them to be able to get listings at gogoagent.com. So, if you want to continue the conversation here, you can go to morecheeselesswhiskers.com. You download a transcript of the episode. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, just click on the Be a Guest link. If you'd like to see how the profit activators are working against your business or in your business, go to profitactivatorscore.com and try our Profit Activator scorecard, and you can see where the big opportunity is in your business right now. So that's it for this week. Have a great week, and I will talk to you next time.